Hey there, Nopenguin here, and let me take you back a set. Before Darkwing Blast was released, Tier Elements was still the best deck, but there were two definite decks ruling the format, Tier Elements and Spright. They were seen as relatively equal powers within the meta. However, since the Aces support came out and we brought ourselves into a Tier 0 format, Sprites have sadly completely fallen off. Even if they didn't ban Ronin Tonin, I still don't think Sprites would be as powerful as Tier Elements currently are. And that's crazy. However, in the upcoming set, we have a card that can change that. Hold on to your hats, because today we are using Couple of Aces in Spright. Let's do this. And here is the list. Yes, for those of you who haven't seen this card, this is Couple of Aces. Couple of Aces is a retrain of the classic Pot of Greed spell, Cup of Aces. Cup of Aces reads that you flip a coin. If heads, draw 2 cards. If tails, your opponent draws 2 cards. Now, people think this is a bad card, but what people don't realize is you can simply just always flip heads. It's that easy. Just flip heads, win. And Konami decided to retrain that with a monster. Not only a monster, a level 2 monster. It has the effect that once per turn, if it's in your hand, you could flip a coin. If heads, special summon it to your field and draw 2 cards. If tails, special summon it to your opponent's side of the field and have them draw 2 cards. Again, just flip heads and you're fine. And not only is it 2 cards, it is a free level 2 body on the field for you to begin and continue your Spright plays. And I think it's just what the deck needs to bring it back to its former glory. We're not going to spend too much time on the list itself, it's pretty self-explanatory. We have the regular Spright engine, triple blue, triple jet, and 1 apiece of red, carrot, and pixies. Then of course we have triple of the Couple of Aces. After that we have our Nimble engine, triple beaver, and double angler. Now you can play 1 angler, but I like to have the second angler to be able to use the Nimble beaver summon effect and the angler dump effect within the same turn. Double Swap Frog for totally awesome, and our Bestials, triple Magnamoot and double Druid Swarm. Rounding off our monsters we have Ash Blossom. Then we have triple Spright Starter, triple Cup of Aces, and double triple Tack Talents. Now this is interesting for 2 things. 1, it's another draw 2 spell, gotta love it. But 2, if you happen to be bad at the game and actually lose on the Couple of Aces effect, this will actually make your triple Tack Talents live, because the monster is summoned to your opponent's side of the field and then it activates its effect. So it does count as your opponent's monster activating its effect. So you can triple talents to either draw 2 cards, the correct option, or look at their hand, get rid of whatever they just drew, or if you're especially salty, you can take back that Couple of Aces and pretend like you didn't flip tails. And of course the 1 Spright Smashers, great removal, Call by the Grave, and triple Infib. The extra deck itself is completely unremarkable. It's just like any Spright extra deck you have ever seen, so I really don't want to put any more time into this. What I want to do is I want to show you what this deck can do. Let's head on to the replay so I can show you the power of Draw 2. Our first replay is up against Branded Shadal. I get to go first, and unfortunately they're going to be able to draw 2. But I will triple tax here, and they'll use their Ash Blossom, but I do have the Call by the Grave. I'm going to be able to draw 2 here, and off the top I do get a combo starter of Nimble Beaver. Nimble Beaver, summon Angler, go into Sprint, send the second Angler to summon 2 more Beavers from deck. Unfortunately, they do have 2 Nibiru in hand, so they'll proc 1 of them, sending everything to special summon a token. I do have starters, so I'm going to be able to go into Blue. Blue is going to activate to go grab me Jet. Jet will special summon to grab me Foot Smashers, and with that, I'm going to go into Gigantic Spright, so I can special summon out the Swap Frog, send the other Swap Frog. From here, I'm going to be able to use the token to go into Elf. Elf will bring back the other Swap Frog, so I can go into Totally Awesome. I'll set Smashers and pass. Now they're going to start here. I'm actually going to use Totally Awesome on this rebranded. That way I can get some use out of the Elf before banishing it with the Smashers. They're going to go into battle after setting a card, and I will Smashers here just to protect the Totally Awesome. They're going to go ahead and end their turn, but I will go Magnamoot before they can do that, which is really great because I can get Druid Swarm during the end phase. I'm in a really good position here, all things considered. Ooh, Cup of Ace. I'm going to go ahead and activate it, and they get to draw 2 more. No matter, I'm going to just Druid Swarm and go for battle. They will bounce my Magnamoot to save themselves a little bit of health, but this is honestly pretty good. Magnamute in hand for next turn is amazing. They're going to draw the Dark Ruler no more, but they won't use it, which will allow me to steal the Albaz with the Totally Awesome. They activate Rook, but do not activate the effect, and I'll be able to go ahead and grab Nimble back. At this point, they do decide to go for Rook for the Shaddoll Winda, which will send Druis Worm, which Druis Worm will be able to send that because it is not a destruction effect. I get to go here, and with my beginning of my turn, I'm going to go right into Magnamute. Magnamute will activate, getting me something during the end phase, followed of Albaz, and will Beaver, summon an Angler, go into Elf. They will Horn of Heaven here to get rid of that, but I'll activate Starter before we get into the battle phase here, which will allow me to add another Starter. We'll go ahead and just attack 13, 25, and not quite game, unfortunately. I go blue during the battle phase 2, but unfortunately they have yet another Nibiru. However, this one is quite bulky, and I'm not sure how they're going to get rid of it. I'll go ahead and add another Druis Worm here during the end phase. They top deck an Ash Blossom. They will Rook here. I decide I'll just get rid of a Dark in the graveyard to see what I can do, but they're just going to go into Construct to get rid of the token. Go ahead, send Squamata, Squamata send Beast, Beast draw a card, letting them draw off the top punishment, then they'll Dark Ruler here for some reason, which does nothing, because Druis Worm activates in the graveyard, so I'll be able to get rid of their construct. Now they're left with Punishment and Ash Blossom. I'm going to normal summon Carrot. They will Punishment here. I will Starter just to get anything on the field, but the Ash Blossom will seal it, and I will just have to end the turn. They get to go first. I'm going to go ahead and stop this from adding a card. That way they're on top deck. They're going to top deck what else but Fallen of Albaz. Go ahead and attack into me. And from here, I'm going to have to find lethal one way or another. Oop, that's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead, normal summon that so I can special summon the blue so we can get Pixies to go into Elf. Then we'll go ahead and bring back the Totally Awesome. That way they can Rook here, try to get something. They'll negate the Pixies, get it sent out here. But because I have Totally Awesome, I can just attack for game. Our next replay is up against Naturia, and they get to go first, unfortunately. They're going to go with summon the Medora, send the yugioh, and unfortunately hit the Exchange, because they do play Exchange in this deck, so I'm not going to be able to get Angler off here on my side. They're going to be able to go ahead and summon back the Mole Cricket. Mole Cricket will go ahead and bring out the Camilla from deck. Camilla will go ahead and dump themselves a Sacred Tree. Sacred Tree will go ahead and grab himself a Quick Play. Grab that Quick Play to go ahead and bring back the Vayne. Then they'll use their Vertiself to go ahead and bring back Sunflower. They'll go into the Naturia Beast. Mole Cricket will summon themselves back so they could go into Vera, set the Quick Play, and pass. They're going to call Infib, not hit it, and I have a lot to go off here. I'm going to Nimble Beaver, and at this point I am not actually just hitting Cup of Ace because I'm afraid of the Naturia Beast here. I'm going to try to just get into a double Zeus line, but they are not going to let me go without a fight. They are going to go into the Sovereignty and use this effect in the graveyard of the Medora immediately to try to banish a card. They're going to banish so much stuff here right now, which after all this resolves, Sovereignty is going to go ahead and actually get rid of my monster. As you can see here, they're going to go ahead and banish that and banish this from the hand. So I'm going to have to use Swap Frog, Special Summon Jet to go into the Gigantic Sprite. And after all that, I am finally going to be downward. And they see that I'm going to go into double Zeus and completely wipe the field. They will submit defeat. Our final replay is up against Kashtira. This is with the new support, so this is going to be interesting. I lose the die roll again, oh my freaking god, but I get to draw 2 here. Their hand is absolutely nuts. They have everything you would want to have, but I'm just going to combo off to the best of my abilities. Sprint to go ahead and grab myself 2 Beavers. Luckily, they do not have any Nibiru or really any hand traps for that matter, so I'm going to be able to actually hit the Cup of Ace on once. Then we're going to go into the Swap Frog. Swap Frog will send another Swap Frog, go into the Elf, bring back the Swap Frog for the Totally Awesome. It's a really good play and hard to beat. I have 2 Infibs, so I'll set that and the Smashers and let them go. They'll take 3,000 to go ahead and get the Ascended. They try to Paralina Planet here, and I'm going to say no thank you, good sir, and I'll go ahead and bring back the Totally Awesome just so it's not off the field for any length of time. I will smash this here just so I can get rid of the level 7 on their field. They have a monster, so they can't actually special summon any of their Kashtira monsters regularly, which is a fun little bit of interruption that having the couple of aces on their field has done. They try to summon another level 7 from the deck, but I have the Ash Blossom to stop them. They will just straight up normal summon Unicorn, but the Invib will stop them from getting their spell. They'll set this trap, and they are actually looking pretty terrible right now. I'll flip their own Kashtira monster, use that to negate it so I can just pop off without letting them add. Once they see the Nimble Beaver, they realize they have lost, and that is the power of Cup of Ace. And that was the replays. I am actually really happy about this. While it's true of every time I used Cup of Aces, I won exactly once, I was still able to pull it a win. Because even if a couple of aces goes to the opponent's side of the field, as you saw in that Kashtira match, that in and of itself can interrupt their entire plays. Because we forced the Kashtira player to have a monster in the field, they weren't able to start their combo by getting a Kashtira monster out, and they had to do a lot of weird things which I was able to interrupt with just a regular Sprite combo. So even when things go bad, they can actually go pretty good. Of course, a deck that allows your opponent to draw to for essentially free, sometimes even with a +1 on body, isn't the most consistent deck to play with, and there are definitely going to be times where you are going to let them draw way too much and they will have way too many resources to be able to break whatever board you can build. But as a fun little variant to a deck whose prime has passed, I like it actually. Because in theory, if you hit heads during each of your attempts, this is an insanely powerful deck with endless amounts of draw support. And I implore every Sprite pilot to start teching these cards in once they release. But at the end of the day, this is a meme deck, so you do you. Well, that's it for the video. Is Couple of Aces cope? Let me know in the comments. Like if you like, subscribe if you want to see more. I am Nopenguin, gambling addict, signing out.